You promise fire and fury like the world has never seen, and ramp up the rhetoric for the benefit of the TV screen. You like to play the big man, like to show us all your might, like a dog on heat, straining at the leash you're spoiling for a fight. You wage a war of words and fan flames without fear, for you know when retribution comes you'll be nowhere near. You'll be safely in your bunker when the rockets start to fly, as tropical distrails and sparks light up a shrieking sky. You won't be there when the trees all die and the buildings start to flame, as hotels turn to ash and beaches to poison, and all of it in your name, as civilians' flesh melts in the heat and shadows are scorched on the ground. 1,000 miles away, removed, you will not hear a sound. You won't be there when the siren calls its panicked 4-minute alarm. You won't be there running for cover. You won't be there in Guam. Like the emperors of Europe in their oak-panelled rooms, carving up a continent, sending young men to their doom, and now 100 years on, no lessons did you learn, 'cause you weren't there to see the soldiers die or hear them burn. And you weren't there at Passchendaele or the trenches of the Somme, and you weren't there in Nagasaki on the day they dropped the bomb, and you weren't there in Dresden, you weren't there in Suvla Bay, but you're always there at the head of parade, you're always there on Armistice Day. And you weren't there at the Bay of Pigs, you weren't there in Panama, and you weren't there in Port Stanley, you weren't there in Kandahar, and you weren't there in Basra, you weren't there in Vietnam, and you're never there in the firing line, and you won't be there in Guam. And you won't be there in 50 years when facts put pay to rumours, and you won't be there in 50 years when folk die clutching tumours, when the children still unborn today live with no legs or arms. You won't be there when the penny drops. You won't be there in Guam. Because people like you have attack on the brain and you call it strategic defences. People like you think it's all just a game because you don't see the true consequences. You won't be there on the tube trains. You won't be there on the bus. You won't be there in the concert halls. You won't be there in the pubs. And the cost of life is oh so cheap when that life belongs to somebody else. As Harry Patch said, if you want a war, grab a gun and go and fight it yourself. Because cowards like you are never at risk, and you know you'll never come to no harm, because you're never there when the bombs are falling, and you won't be there in Guam.